not gonna lie to you, Mighty Mouse. I thought there was no possible way I could lose. I am Death City! I studied the fighting styles of Goku, Naruto, Vegeta, Batman. I'm not lying. I'm one of the person. I'm one of the best strikers on the planet because nobody wants to swing with me. I realized there was levels to this, especially the wrestling part, because out of all the martial artists I watched, like Batman, they never once went to the ground. So I wasn't even...
The big question, the elephant in the room, DJ, do you think one day, if the schedules align, you would be able to train Death Sentence?
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Oh, it's 15-time world champion Demetrious Johnson. You're listening to the MightyCast.
What's going on, guys? This episode of the MightyCast is sponsored by PrizePicks. Now, PrizePicks is a daily fantasy sports game where you play directly from your phone. All you gotta do is go to your app store, download PrizePicks, and when you do that, make sure you use my promo code MightyCast. They have a cool promotion going on right now. All you gotta do is play $5 and you're gonna win $50 no matter what happens in your lineup. And right now, they got a free square. Nikola Jokic. All he's got to do is score 1 point and you get that pick lineup done for you guys. Very easy to do. Make the pick at the right place, which is PrizePicks. Now, shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring this episode of the MightyCast. Now, let us get back to our guests. Death Sentence!
The phone the other way.
The other way?
So not vertical, but like landscape, horizontal.
Sick. All right, hold on.
No. So like, here, where's my phone?
You're upside down, brother.
Like, yeah. So you want to do it like sideways. So instead of like this, like.
That good?
Horizontal. You have it like this?
Yeah.
You want horizontal.
So you want to do it. You want to do it like this.
Okay, hold on. Give me a second. Oh. All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Are we good?
Here we go.
Good. Hey,
yeah.
why aren't you in the house? Why are you in the
Sorry. Huh?
Why aren't you in the house? Why are you in the car?
I had to, show out a little bit,
Oh.
and because my mama's kind of cleaning the house right now, so she said I had to go in the car.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes when you still live at home with mom, it is what it is. But we gonna kick this off. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the MightyCast. And it is the holidays. We have Christmas right around our corner. We thought we'd give you guys an amazing guest. He has a big following on, his Instagram, his social. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome in Death Sentence. Death Sentence, welcome.
Death Sentence.
There it is. All right, Death. First off, thanks for coming on the show. And second, I'm honored. What is your real name? Like, do I call you Death Sentence, or how do I address you?
Mr. Death is fine, or Death Sentence. My real name is Miraji.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Death. Is Mr. Death good?
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. Death was perfect.
Okay. Well, Mr. Death, I want to start by, obviously you're a big manga fan.
Yeah.
You're a big manga fan. You show up to your fights. You're like, I'm gonna end this fight. Why is it always 2 seconds? Why not give yourself 5, 10, 15 seconds? Why is it always 2 seconds?
I am Death City! And I'm about to end this in 2 seconds!
2 seconds. If I take somebody in 2 seconds, it's more intimidating to my opponent. I got to strike fear into their heart.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a a fun fact about the 2 seconds line, that was completely by accident. My first fight, I did not mean to say that at all. I just said it by accident because I was in the heat of the moment. I was going to say something like, I'm going to slaughter you like the pig you are or snap your neck in 2 seconds. I was going to say that, but I just said the 2 seconds because it was in the heat of the moment. So I just said, I'm going to say something quick. So I'm going to end this fight in 2 seconds, and then it just stuck with me.
Okay. Let's talk about the beginning. How old are you?
I'm 21 going on 22.
Okay. And growing up, did you do any sports, basketball, wrestling, baseball, any type of sports?
I went to no, ever since like I was little, the only thing I wanted to do was fight. I am like a born warrior. I came out the gate swinging. So I took karate class when I was like in 7th grade. Recently, I'm actually taking a wrestling class because the internet knows why I kind of need that a little bit. And when I was little, I didn't really take sports at all. It was really just training to be a fighter until the day it finally happened. So I didn't really take any sport.
What inspired you? You said you came out the gate swinging. You came out the gates ready to be a fighter. What inspired you to be a fighter? Because if you came out the gate swinging, that means you grew up watching fighting, or you grew up in a household where your brothers and sisters fight. What makes you think you came out the gates swinging and you're born to fight?
Well, I got into it almost the first time I saw it. The first fighter I ever seen was Bruce Lee when I was like really little, and ever since I watched that movie, I was hooked. Obviously, I'm a huge anime fan, so that played a lot. That played a lot of part. Rock Lee inspired my outfit. Rock Lee inspired me in a lot of ways. Naruto did in Dragon Ball, so that inspired me growing up. And Bruce Lee, all the fighters I grew up watching inspired me to be a fighter. So off the gate, I was already into it. And I've been training literally my whole life to do this. There was a point, because I was really trying to figure out, how do I be a fighter? And then I heard of StreetBeefs, and I was like, I finally found a way to do it.
Now, did you ever do any type of like for example, for me, I wrestled in high school, played, football, basketball, ran track. And then when I wanted to learn how to fight, I went to a local gym and started training at the local gym. And I trained for 6 months straight. No breaks, 6 months straight, training 2 to 4 days a week. And then eventually I took my first amateur fight. Now, what was your path like before you took your first amateur fight? Because I love Street Beef. I think with Scarface and his team, what they do over there, they do a good job. I think they're doing a great job matching you up with somebody more your skill level instead of throwing you to the wolves. And so what's your process of getting ready for an amateur fight?
Well, when I first got into it, I signed up for like 2 weeks in advance. So I train, everybody knows, I only recently kind of started getting into a gym. Everybody knows from my videos that I train at home. So I actually have a big field at home. Like I live like a forest type area. So it's like a football field in my backyard. It's huge. So I run all day to get my stamina up. I hit the bag all day to get my stamina up. I used to do that. Now I'm in the gym now, but I would watch video game characters fight and take moves from them. Not gonna lie, I did that for like Street Fighter and Naruto. Basically, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. My fighting style is mimicking anime characters. I'm not even gonna lie. Like half of the moves I do, I literally study the anime to see what they're doing, and then I copy it, and then I do it in the fight. So that's how I've been training so far until I got to a gym.
What's going on, guys? This episode of the MightyCast is sponsored by BetterHelp. Now, BetterHelp is a therapy session that can be done online. And what they're going to do is they're going to get you hooked up with a therapist who's going to cater to your schedule and the needs that you need to get through this holiday season, and it's always good to talk to somebody if you're struggling, or not if you're struggling, if you just need to be held accountable. My co-host Michael Wandover is a big fan of therapy. Michael, how has therapy helped you out in your life?
No, I love getting therapy. I see my therapist every week, and it's really just a way to keep you either accountable for your goals, or if you're just someone who you need someone to talk to. You know, maybe these are some issues that you don't feel comfortable saying to a friend, a family member, and you'd rather have it with a licensed therapist who, you know, knows how to deal with those emotions and anything that you think may be going on in your life. So I can't say enough about how much therapy has helped me. I've been doing it now for about 3 years. There's no stigma now. If you feel like you need therapy, there is no reason to not to go to BetterHelp. See a therapist. And another thing too is during the holidays, that could be some of the toughest time for people who are really going through it. When you see, you know, other people celebrating Christmas or New Year's, and you just start getting these lonely feelings, there's no reason to not go to BetterHelp. You could use code MightyCast, you're going to get 10%. That, I can't stress enough, in my life, it's helped me be more productive, be more accountable, just be a more positive person in the way I view things. So there's no stigma anymore. It's okay if you need someone to talk to admit you have help, and you could go to BetterHelp to find it. It couldn't be more accessible than it is right now these days.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So go to betterhelp.com/MightyCast. They will give you 10% off on your first month on your therapy session. And this is a licensed therapist who's going to be catered to you and your schedule. Once again, go to betterhelp.com/MightyCast. Love you, save 10%. Shout out to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode of the MightyCast. Now, let us get back to death sentence. And how do you feel now that you're actually in the gym training compared to studying anime fights? Like, you know, I love how each time you fight, you come out there and you jump across the void. You jump across like a orangutan and you do your thing. Now that you're actually doing some legit training inside of a gym underneath I'm assuming master, how do you like that process better than studying? You know, trust me, I watch Vegeta in the Tournament of Power. And trust me, I wish I could fight like a Vegeta, but you know, obviously we all know that's fake. I know. How do you like the transition from going from studying anime to actually, you know, putting some work inside the gym?
Yeah. Well, when I first went to go fight, I realized there's levels to this. Cause I'm not gonna lie to you, Mighty Mouse. I thought my first fight, I thought I was invincible. I thought there was no possible way I could lose. I studied the fighting styles of Goku, Naruto, Vegeta, Batman. I'm not lying. I studied have you played Batman Arkham City?
Absolutely.
Have you played Sifu?
I have not played Sifu.
Have you heard of it though?
I have heard of it.
Martial arts game?
Yes.
Yeah. I have. I'm not lying. I've studied Batman from Arkham City. I studied Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat. I studied Sifu to copy the moves. I practiced and memorized it all day. If there's a move in Sifu where he takes the guy's arm, karate chops his arm in half, and then his arm's chopped broken, so he just punches him and slaps him. I did that to Miles. My second fight, I literally grabbed his hand, karate chopped it, and then I started punching. That was from Sifu. Another move, Batman blocks a punch and then he punches the guy in the gut and then elbows him in the face. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. I can show you the moves and the moves I attempted to copy and put into the fight. So I thought I studied the greatest martial artist ever. There's no possible way I'm gonna lose. And then my first, I don't know if you saw my first fight. You reacted to all three of my fights, but my first one, I don't know if you saw it, but my first fight, I ran at the guy because in a move, Batman Arkham City, Batman runs at the strongest guy. He jumps in the air and he stuns him with his cape, and then he starts punching him. So I decided that to apply it to me, I would jump up in the air, slap him in the face to stun him, and then punch him and then knock him out like Batman. like Batman does. So in my first fight, I tried to do that. I made it realistic though. I had to make it realistic because I'm not an anime character, so I made it realistic to me. I ran at the guy. Here's how I do it. I had the block. I make sure this face is in front of me in case he tries to throw something. I jump in the air and then I try to hide the fact that I'm gonna slap him in the face, and then I would try to slap him to punch him. Now obviously it didn't work out that way. I jumped at the guy and then I thought he was gonna try to attack me, but instead he tried to wrestle me, which I did not account for at all. Like wrestling, I didn't even think about it until I actually got in there. And then I flipped over the guy, I rolled him back, and then I tried to punch him. And then this man magically got behind me. Like he just went behind me, then he choked me out, unfortunately. So I realized there was levels to this, especially the wrestling part, because out of all the martial artists I watched, the fictional ones like Batman, they never once went to the ground. So I wasn't even. They never ever once. You play Batman Arkham City, Dragon Ball, Naruto. They never go to the ground ever. So I wasn't even thinking about that. It didn't even cross my mind that wrestling wasn't even a possibility to me. So when he took me on the ground, I was a fish out of water. All the simulations I ran through my head, I thought it was going to be stand-up war. We were clashing blows, maybe teleport a little bit, but that didn't happen. So
Did you just hear yourself? You said, I was be clashing, slapping and blocking, maybe teleport a little bit.
Yeah, I had a plan. Like not actually teleport, but Batman in the sorry I keep bringing it up.
That's okay.
Batman in the game. Yeah, Batman in the game would kind of like do this thing to the opponent, kind of like blind him a little bit, and then he would just be gone. So that's what I was gonna try and do in my fight. Try to teleport around them, try to vanish while I'm fighting, because that's what Batman be doing. I try to be like him.
Gotcha.
But that didn't work out. So I realized, all right, they be rest. As a matter of fact, the more I fought, the more I realized. Now this isn't true for all MMA fights, but almost all of them want to go to the ground. All of them. Now you're an expert. I think I'm a really good striker. You probably know better. I think I'm a really good striker because none of these people ever want to. Nobody even threw a punch at me. The only person that threw a punch at me was Miles, and I almost destroyed him because he almost did. I'm under the impression I'm one of the best strikers on the planet because nobody wants to swing with me ever. They always want to go to the ground. I realized, all right, anime taught me how to box well. But they didn't teach you how to wrestle at all. So I got to go to a gym. So this is why I'm curling in a gym now. But anyway, that was way off topic. The point is, when I got a fight coming up, nowadays I go to the gym. But before then, I would just run around, practice Batman martial arts, or Goku martial arts, or Vegeta or Liu Kang Mortal Kombat martial arts, and get ready for the fight. So cardio, lift the weights, and anime training. Now it's anime training and lifting weights and going to the gym to get that wrestling practice. Now I know what you're gonna say. My original fighting style was kind of unrealistic, but it did get me far a little bit. I almost won those fights, almost. So I don't think it was a complete waste of time.
No, I don't think so. I think all the martial arts you see in video games like Batman Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, Shaq Fu. That's probably before your time. Even Dragon Ball Z, Tekken, all those games are
Tekken was a big one.
Yeah, are all inspired by martial arts,
real life stuff.
Yeah, so exactly. I think if that's the only way you have the opportunity to actually study martial arts, like Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, it's a great game, right? But you did bring out a very very good point. A good point is that
some of the moves are kind of realistic too.
Yeah, the moves are realistic, but the one thing that you did bring out is that none of the animes, they never do fight on the ground. Dragon Ball Z, if you look at all the sagas, Cell Saga, Raditz Saga, Majin Buu Saga, Dragon Ball Dragon Ball Super, they never fight on the ground. They're always on the feet. And so that's why you only stay on the feet. And when you jump like Batman does, now it makes sense why you jump across the distance, the void, like Batman does, because that's what he does in Arkham City, Arkham Asylum, is that he jumps on him, he blinds him. But the one thing you forgot, my friend, is you ain't got Batman's goddamn utility belt. If Batman don't have that utility belt, he ain't doing shit like that. And you need a cape. You got to change your outfit into a cape. Okay, if you want to do shit like Batman, you got to be like Batman. You got to be like Bruce Wayne. You got to have a cape.
Yeah, I wanted to use my hand was gonna be the stunner because like there's a mission where he plays as Bruce Wayne. He uses his hand instead. He does. Like there is. There's a. I don't know if you played the Mr. Freeze DLC, but Batman gets attacked and he doesn't have time to put the suit on. So when he fights, instead of his cape, he uses his hand. He literally slaps them in the face. So that's what I tried to do.
What's going on, guys? This podcast is sponsored by VIIA Hemp. Now, VIIA Hemp is a premium hemp company that has amazing products ranging from CBD, THC, and non-THC gummies. Now, my favorite product to take, it depends on what I'm trying to get in the mood for. You know, the holidays is right around the corner, and sometimes I take the beautiful thing to get me elevated is the elevated VIIA Hemp. Or if you're not trying to get elevated and you want to have that clear focus state, I like to take their flow state, which is this Bible right here. I love it so much. I take it right before I'm about to do a MightyCast or when I'm about to get in the office and start doing some editing. Another cool thing about VIIA Hemp is that it ships directly to your house discreetly. And if you want to find out more information about VIIA Hemp, all you got to do is look in the description below, take a look at it, and see if VIIA Hemp is the perfect thing for you. Make sure you guys go to VIIAHemp.com, check out the website, and make sure you use my promo code MIGHTY. That'll help you save 50% on your complete order. Shout out to VIIA Hemp for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to the content that me and Micro are cooking up for you guys. Okay. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. Now, you said you want to copy moves from Liu Kang. How is your bicycle kick coming?
Yeah. Bicycle kick, I couldn't. I'm still working on that. I mastered the flying kick. I mastered the flying kick, though. Like, my second fight, when I fought Static, that came from Liu Kang. I'm not even joking. I studied Mortal Kombat X Liu Kang fighting style before the fight, and I'm like, yo, I can't do the bicycle kick yet. But I can do that flying kick. I mastered that. I worked on that for like a week.
Uh-oh, think we lost him.
Yeah, he's doing it from his car. We'll see if he
comes back. This is fucking great. He cracks me up. I mean,
so fucking
when
good.
He was like, I studied all the moves. There's no way possibly I could lose. And then he goes to the fucking ground. He's like, what? This is not part of the simulation. Come on, Death. Come back to us, baby. Okay, now let's get back on track. You were saying that you've almost mastered the bicycle kick from Liu Kang. But it makes sense where you said that you go through all the simulation, you study, video games, you study manga. Yes. What do you think about Deku from My Hero Academia? Have you ever studied him?
No, I haven't studied him, no.
Why not? I think he's great.
I only studied like Deku? Hero Academia? I mean, he's more like a power puncher, though, I study like people that know martial arts and stuff. He's like a kid too.
Okay.
So like, Goku, mainly I'm not gonna lie, the person I mainly study is Batman. Because he's like the best ever. Like, ever.
Gotcha. What's the favorite Batman? What's the best Batman, the version? Is it Michael Keaton? Is it Ben Affleck? Is it Val... Ben Affleck? Okay.
Affleck. I'm sorry.
Can you name all of them? Like your top? You got Ben Affleck. Who's
top Batman?
Yeah. Who's your top Batman? Give me your top 5 Batmans. Like who's the best Batman?
Christian Bale. You guys are not giving enough respect to Christian Bale. He's my number one.
Affleck because he is the scariest Batman ever.
Okay.
And I feel like all these other movies, they get everything right about Batman, but Batfleck is the scariest Batman ever. He got a theme. His suit is it's the best suit. I don't care what nobody say. It's the best suit ever. The all black armor, I don't really like it that much, but the gray and the black, that suit is amazing, and they really incorporate the fear aspect of Batman very well. That's something Christian Bale don't do very well. Like Batman's just an action superhero, but like the point of Batman is to be scary. I mean, it's to be on other stuff too, but they get the action part right. His fight scenes are better. The scary part right. The suit right. It's just everything is right. Like everything. And then I would say after that, maybe Christian Bale, because I think he has the best all-black suit. I don't like the all-black armor stuff, but Christian Bale probably has the second best one. Then Michael Keaton and also Patterson Batman. He's cool. I mean, I like him. He's cool, but I think he has the worst suit out of all of them. But I say fifth place, and it's like only 5. Really, like who's next?
You got Val Kilmer. You got George Clooney.
Oh, Mark Klimber?
No, Val Kilmer.
He's cool. I mean,
Val Kilmer.
Wasn't he the one that made Batman and Robin? Or Batman Forever?
Yes, Batman Forever. Batman Forever was Val Kilmer, and then George Clooney did Batman and Robin.
Oh yeah, I forgot there was 2 actors. Yeah, with the little nipple suits there. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all can keep that.
He said the little
I'm gonna keep that.
I think
that's pretty much for me.
I think you got. I agree with you with the Batman. Ben Affleck's Batman. I think his suit was probably the best. I think the scary factor of it, and I also think the martial arts,
off the chain.
like his fight scenes, were probably the best. Yeah. But that's also, you look where we're at now. They shot that movie in 2020. If they would have gave Michael Keaton that budget, I'm sure his suit would probably be the best. But I always put Michael Keaton at the number 1 list. Absolutely, dude. Batman 1 and Batman with Jack Nicholson, and then you have Batman. He said no.
No, it's cool. It's cool.
And then you got Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer and fucking Danny. I think it was Danny DeVito with the Penguin. And then you go with then I'll go with Ben Affleck, and then after I'll go with Robert Patterson, and then I will go with. Then I'll go with Christian Bale. I think his storylines were the best, but I didn't like that voice that he did. I didn't like how he turned.
Yeah, he all with a trilogy.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. Okay. So,
his story was the best.
So you like Batman? Okay. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living, Mr. Death?
Mr. Death. Well, I'm currently trying to be an MMA fighter for a living, but what I do is that I work at a pizza place and I guard it very well. Yeah, I'm like I wash dishes, and if anybody comes in wanting trouble, I take them out.
Okay.
Basically.
Okay, so
that place is under my protection.
Okay, so have you ever had to deal with or take anybody out? Because you said you guard it. I feel like that's like your first priority. So when you signed up to work when you applied for the pizza position at the pizza spot where you live, did you apply for the dishwashing job, or did you apply for to be a security guard?
Both. I decided to be a dishwasher and still like a security guard at the same time. So I let everybody, if anybody's having trouble at the bar or some drunk a-hole is like terrorizing everybody, say, get me. I haven't had any incidents yet, but they know who to call.
Okay.
Everybody know who to call. As a matter of fact, I did a bodyguard job. That's why I was kind of late on this interview. My mom had to go get her tire switched, so I came with her, make sure nobody touched her at all. I'm the bodyguard. Easily. I bodyguard everything.
Okay. And then
because I'm the toughest man in the planet.
Gotcha. And then your goal is to be a professional mixed martial artist, right? Like, so you're working at the PC job in order to make enough money to be able to train. Obviously you got to make money to be able to pay your bills, insurance, all that stuff. But then eventually your end game goal is you want to be. What if I told you, MMA guys don't make good money? Like the very first time I fought, I made. The first time I fought, I made $500 the show, $500 the win. So I only made $1,000. I can't live off $1,000. And then, I didn't start making good money till I became a world champion. That was like 8 years into my career. I was 26, 2012. Yeah, so graduated from high school 5. So about 8 years into my career till I started making good money. So is that your ultimate goal in life, is become a professional mixed martial artist to be able to make money?
UFC? Yeah. I want to join the UFC. That's the main thing. I really want to join the UFC. And to be honest with you, I know it's classic and cliche and everybody says it, but for me it's especially true. I I don't really do it for the money, really. I don't really care how much I get paid. I just want to be the best fighter ever. Like I said, I came out the gate swinging. I fight for, like, StreetBeefs doesn't pay me, but I don't care because I want to fight. I want to be the best fighter ever. It was never about the money. It was never about the fame. I genuinely want to be the best fighter ever and prove to the world that death sentence is number one. So how much, I mean, hopefully I'll make a lot of money in the future. Hopefully I'll be a millionaire one day, who knows? But that's more of a consolation prize. I truly just want to do this because I love to do it. I want to be the best at it, and I dedicate my entire life to this. It's who I am. Like, from the gate, this headband represents who I am on the inside, a hidden leaf ninja, and this outfit is based off Vegeta from the Buu saga. So I am a true Saiyan warrior in spirit. And like Saiyans, like the planet Saiyans, they live for one thing, and that's battle. Goku, Vegeta, they save the world all the time. Nobody pays them. Nobody do none of that. Do they care? No, because they want to fight to be the strongest. That's what I am. In spirit, I am a Super Saiyan. That's the only thing I live for. So I don't really care how much money I make. I just want to do it. That's who I am.
I feel like Batman's really upset at you right now. We spent all this time.
Oh, why?
Because all I hear you talking about is Dragon Ball Z and Naruto. You have not one piece of outfit on that represents your love for Batman. What's that all about?
What Batman? The utility belt. Look, the belt.
It's
kind of like Batman. And I'm wearing black. I'm wearing black.
Ah, yeah, that's true. I mean, the utility belt is yellow, by the way. The utility belt is yellow, not red.
Batman Beyond, it's red.
Oh, Jesus.
I know what you're saying.
Okay, where did you get your nickname? Right. So, wait, hang on. Let me set up for the fans. Okay, let me set up for fans because a lot of the fans don't know about Batman Arkham Asylum. You know, Arkham City. They don't know about Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, the Buu saga, Naruto. They don't know about that, right? But when you look at Batman's out there fighting crime, trying to bring peace to the world. You look at Goku, he's doing the exact same thing. He's trying to bring peace to the world. Yep. A Saiyan coming down to Earth, and same thing with Vegeta. Yep. Vegeta was coming to Earth to destroy it, right? But then at first, but now he fell in love with Bulma, had Trunks, had his daughter and all that stuff. So now they are Earth's protector. Everybody I just named, Goku, Vegeta, Bruce Wayne, Batman, whoever it is, they are trying to bring peace to the world. But when you look at your nickname, Death Sentence. That's like that's totally opposite of what you're trying to do. When I hear Death Sentence, you're trying to bring death to somebody's life. Where did you get this nickname from?
Oh yeah. Well, it was actually, I would say, maybe about like a year before I became an MMA fighter in StreetBeefs. I was really and when I was like, I think I was 20 when I first started. So when I was about 20 and it was about a year, I was desperately trying to get into MMA, like desperate. I was desperate. Like, how do I do this? How do I get into MMA? I heard about StreetBeefs, but I didn't think I would get into it until now. I finally decided to try it like a year later, but I was really desperate to get inside. I was like, my brother asked me, hey, if you could get into the UFC or a fighting organization, what would you call yourself? And I thought about it. I would call myself Death Sentence, because if anybody fought me, it would be a guaranteed, like they would die. It would be guaranteed, certain death, which is why, I later got the white hair. Fun fact that before we continue, when I got the white hair, that transformation was called certain death. I don't know if you know that. But I figured, what would my suit be? And I decided, this suit, this is when I was thinking about the origins of my costume. I thought about Akuma. I wanted my suit to be a cross between all the things I like. So I like Naruto. Yep. This suit is based off Vegeta. It's Vegeta's Buu saga outfit, but black. And I like Batman, which is why I made it black. And the belt, it's not yellow, but it's red. Batman Beyond, so it still counts. That was technically made by Bruce. So this suit now represents all the things that inspired me to be a fighter. And And I decided if I ever actually did this one day, I would call myself Death Sentence. So that's where it came from. It was like a year of planning. I was thinking about it for a year, and then I called myself Death Sentence. And when I finally figured out a name, I joined StreetBeefs like a month later.
Got it. Okay. I love the backstory. I love it. I think it's great. You know, and as I sit here and we're talking, you know, obviously Batman has his arch nemesis, right? Which is the Joker. Yes. And I feel like you and White Wolf have crossed paths before. That is the first time we saw you give somebody the bird because you felt you were angry. Tell me about your arch nemesis, White Wolf.
White Wolf, I'm gonna destroy him. We were supposed to been had a rematch, but things got in the way. I've been talking to StreetBeefs though, behind the scenes. I've been talking to StreetBeefs, and they said, hey, I think they have an event next week or like the week after that. They say they might cover my travel fees. So I can get there early. I can do it myself, but just so I can get there earlier because I really want to beat that man's head in. And if they do, me and him should be fighting next week. But I ain't gonna lie to you, Mighty Mouse, I had a vendetta against all my enemies. Now, me and Static, Surfu, the first two guys, except Miles. I'm going to kill Miles one day. I will destroy Miles. I'm going to invite him to StreetBeefs. I'm going to destroy him too. Matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can find him after this video, tell him to come back to StreetBeefs so I can finish him this time. But all my enemies, I kind of always wanted to destroy them, but I never got the chance to because off camera, they buddied up with me. Like Static, I wanted to snap Static's head off. But Static, and this is embarrassing to admit because everybody knows me as this ruthless savage killer. But after the first two fights, it's a shame to admit, but I kind of cried a little bit.
That's okay.
You know, and I'm ashamed of it. Yeah, I did cry a little bit. And my vulnerable state, Static came to me and said some words of encouragement. Surfu did too. And I was in a embarrassing state. So because of that, I have honor. I'm a savage killer, make no mistake. But I do have honor. So I decided, all right, they came to me, they showed me compassion, even though I literally just tried to smash their faces in. Screw it, they're off the list. Miles and White Wolf are not off the list, though. They're going to be destroyed. I will destroy them disrespectfully. I'm going to... You thought that was disrespectful? After I knock them out, I'm going to do the middle finger over their corpse. I'm going to do the bow and arrow stuff that, what's his name, Israel Adesanya. I'm going to think of everything I can to destroy them. It is personal between them. I will destroy them. Everybody else, though, because they came to me and gave me words of encouragement, all right, you're off the list. We're cool now. Don't ever fight me again because I'm not showing you mercy the second time. But as long as you don't fight me, we're cool. Cool.
Okay. Well, I felt that there was some back and forth between you and White Wolf because that was the first time.
Sorry for interrupting. That actually was before the fight. Actually, we were trash talking each other before the fight. As a matter of fact, I flipped him off twice before the fight even started. So it was personal off the get go.
Got it.
It was
okay.
Yeah.
Now, at one point, you're going to have to not keep on doing the street beef stuff, right? Like at some point, you're actually going to keep on training and actually start, you can continue to be inspired by Batman, Naruto, Liu Kang and all that stuff. But eventually, you got to start taking your stand-up game, a little more serious. Why not focus more on you're at a gym now, you're doing wrestling. Why not focus more on actually doing some stand-up training? Like, okay, jab, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6.
Well, I ain't trying to brag, but I feel like my striking power now, listen, I'm gonna put my ego to the side real quick. Maybe it's not as good as I think it is because every time I go in, I fought 4 times. Not once, except the second time, did anybody try to swing at me. Static, when I fought Static, I thought Static was going to try and bang with me because I knew Static before that fight. He fought Samoan Beast and he tried to, all his fights, he always tries to box. So I thought, finally, I'm going to get the anime fight I'm looking for. I didn't get it. We went to the ground. We went to the ground immediately. And now, I don't want to put words, me and Static are cool now. I don't want to put words in Static's mouth, so I'm not going to say, if you felt a certain way about my striking ability. But ever since that second fight where somebody finally decided to fight me up top and I was able to use all the knowledge I gained from anime and I beat the tar out of them, almost nobody wants to wrestle with me. Now, my striking is not the best, obviously, but I feel like right now my wrestling needs work. If I just knew a little bit of wrestling, I feel like I would have won at least 3 of them fights. At least I would have won the first one for sure. Cause I got one of the guys, his name's Cal Lifter. He's a fighter in StreetBeefs. He told me, bro, you could have ended him in actually 2 seconds. Cause I got his back immediately. I wasn't even trying to. I had him in the perfect choke position, but because I don't know what to do, I didn't. And I watch your breakdowns of me. You say I always have. There's always at least one moment in all my fights where I have one opportunity to just end it. Because I don't know how to end it, I don't end it. So it's always wrestling too, always. So I feel like my striking power, it definitely needs to be improved upon, but it can wait for at least for a second because I need this wrestling stuff, bro. Wrestling is almost all you need in the UFC. I'm not even gonna lie. I'll tell you right now, Mighty Mouse, I hate wrestling. I hate it to death. But it might be the best martial art on the planet. Like, it don't matter about the size, how strong you are, nothing. Anybody can choke you out. If you taught jiu-jitsu to my 9-year-old sister, and she knew what she was doing, she could probably choke me out if I don't know what I'm doing. That's how effective it is. So I need that right now. So I got to focus on that. And then striking later, but I will do it.
Do you think the creators of Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and Mortal Kombat, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, do you think they did you a disservice to not prepare you for an actual real fight? Because like you said,
No.
Hey, let me finish now. Like you said, you went through every simulation of what could happen. Hours of gameplay. You probably got 50 hours of Arkham Asylum, 50 hours of Arkham City. You've seen Dragon Ball Z from the Raditz saga all the way to the Majin Buu saga. I'm sure you watched Dragon Ball Super, and then you played. You've seen all of it, and not once did they prepare you for a ground battle. Now you have to take a step back and say, what is this bullshit? How come I haven't been exposed to the ground? Do you feel that they did you a disservice of what reality is compared to, what's not? What's anime? That's because when I'm sitting here listening to you, I'm like, man, he is right. In all those games and all those animes, they never go to the ground. And I wonder how you feel. Now, if you watch Baki,
I watched
Baki. There's some of the fights.
They did go
to the ground, but you probably just watched that for 20 minutes. Even when you watch Bruce Lee, there's a couple of fights he goes to the ground, but nobody really goes to the ground.
Couple.
So do you feel that they didn't set you up for success?
No, I don't feel that way at all because I got this far because of them. I think my striking and my fighting style. I think if I never studied that, I would have lost earlier because I'd be having my opponents are off guard, off rip because of the antics I'll be doing, and I'll be getting them in that first minute, and I actually won a couple of off. I'm not lying. A couple of off screen battles, battles off camera because of anime. So anime has gotten me really far in life with their life lessons and their fighting style. So. And when you think about the universe they're in, it kind of makes sense except Baki because they're in the tournament, but not Goku, Batman. They don't really go to the ground because 1, they got weapons most of the time. 2, if somebody tries to take Goku to the ground, Goku can just fly up and like slam them against the building and stuff. So Naruto's saying if somebody, you gotta remember it. In anime, it's death fights, So if somebody tries to choke out Batman, he can't get out. He's gonna pull a batarang and stab him in a like eye or something. He don't kill. He doesn't kill, but Batman will do everything but kill you. So he's probably gonna permanently take their sight, so they let him go. So he won't kill you though. So
okay, so how did you feel about Batman versus Superman, the movie? Did you like that movie?
No, I'll be honest. I only that movie. I like Snyder for what he did with Batman. Everybody else, and Man of Steel was awesome. I don't know what I say. That's the best Superman movie ever. It's amazing. The fight scenes are just amazing. I don't know why people hate it. I really don't know why. Superman is so cool, and he's so hopeful too. People say he's not hopeful. Yes, he is. Every time you see him, I just get filled with so much hope, and he's gonna save the day all the time. People who hate that movie are losers, but Man of Steel was awesome. Zack Snyder messed up when he did Batman vs Superman because he didn't even build up the universe. He just rushed it in. He just rushed it to an early grade. He should have gave Batman a movie first, the Flash a movie first. Maybe not Cyborg. Maybe have him make a cameo or something. Like Marvel didn't give all the characters movies of their own, but at least they made a cameo on another appearance. It's about build up, getting the fans excited, making them appreciate, the characters individually. So when they team up, it's all the more hype. He didn't do that, which is why the Snyderverse failed almost immediately. Like he tried the Justice League movie. He tried to create 5 movies in one because nobody even knows who the Justice League are. You can't just make them like they're not like the Power Rangers or the Teenage Ninja Turtles that are all just connected. Like Batman, Superman, Iron Man, they can all have their own movies separately. They don't really need each other, but because they team up, is all the more hype. So he should have made all the movies first and then do the big team up. Like when you watch Justice League, he tries to tell 5 movies in one. And he focuses on the origins for like 10 minutes, and then they gotta skip to the bad guy. Avengers 1 was perfect because they already did that in like all the 5 movies, so they can just go forward with it. Yeah, sorry about it. Sorry for that with the rain. That's not messed up, bro.
No, dude. I like it. Yeah, like I said, I grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, Marvel, Avengers, played Batman. Batman is like one of my favorite superheroes. So all this, you're speaking to my culture, you're speaking to my upbringing, and I love it because I'm not gonna lie, I was inspired by anime, Dragon Ball Z. I was that kid on a trampoline like sitting, I'm about to go Super Saiyan 2, and then Kamehameha and throw fireballs. Like I was that kid, right? And that's inspired me to get into martial arts essentially. And then when I became older, I saw The Ultimate Fighter, and then I started training. When it came to movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme was one of my favorite action movie stars to watch growing up. Same thing with Jackie Chan. The Quest, I love that movie. That might be before your time. That was a great movie. Kickboxer, what is it? Just so many movies out there. The Last Dragon. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That was like the first time we had a black martial arts movie with Bruce Leroy and The Glow. I still play that music. Great soundtrack. So all the stuff you're talking about, Mortal Kombat 2, Kotaro, Minotauro, Reptile, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, all that stuff you're speaking to my inner child, right? So the rant is totally fine. I love it. Now let's talk about. Obviously, you watch the UFC. Who are who are the top athletes that you love to look at and try to emulate when it comes to your specific training? Like who do you like watching? Not just the UFC. You got one championship, you got Bellator, you got PFL. What are your favorite athletes to watch and try to mimic?
MVP might be one of my most favorite MMA fighters of all time, Malcolm Venom Page, the CEO of Disrespect. I love that man. Tank Abbott. I don't know if you know about him. He's old school.
I know who Tank Abbott is.
I know
who that is.
I love it. You know who that is? Yeah, I love his tough guy attitude. He has a fighting style that's kind of similar to me. He rushes in there too and tries to take out his opponent immediately. That's kind of my style. I'm starting to notice that it's not just anime. I actually do like to just rush in there and get in that fight immediately. That's kind of my style. So Tank Abbott inspires me a lot as an MMA fighter, actually. Alex Pereira, the whole world loves him at this point, so that's obvious. Israel Adesanya is cool too. Hope to meet him one day. And I don't have too many favorite MMA fighters. I like the obvious ones like John Jones, Francis Ngannou. But my favorite fighter of all time, he's not that good. He's not. But I gotta say Tank Abbott. I love that guy, bro. He's so tough and strong and not scared of no one. He called out Mike Tyson, actually. I don't know if you remember, but he actually called out Mike Tyson one time. So that showed me how tough he was. So he kind of reminds me of myself in a way.
Okay. Who do you think will win? John Jones versus Tom Aspinall?
I don't know. I know you saw that fight yesterday. Now listen, I'm not an MMA fan expert. I'm not MMA expert. You are. You know more about this stuff than I do. But am I uneducated opinion? I don't think Stipe should have been in there with John Jones, man. I'm sorry. I don't. He shouldn't have been in there. I don't think I didn't see anything that he was. He deserved to be in there, I guess, but I don't think he needed to be in there. John Jones, it was like the third round or the second round he destroyed him. Was it like the third round?
I think it was
he got him out of there.
Yeah, I think it was the third round. I believe it was the third round. The spin it back kick. Yeah.
It didn't even go and a kick of all things. I thought he was gonna chuck him out. No, he beat him up at striking. So we all know how good John Jones is, and I really disagree with John Jones when he said he wants to fight Alex. Why? We all know. Now listen, I was talking to my brother about this. My brother, he's more of a boxing fan, but he watches MMA too. My brother wants to be a boxer, by the way, so you might see him soon.
Okay.
You know, when he decides to fight. But anyway, why does he want to fight Alex Pereira? Everybody knows Alex Pereira is primarily a striker, and then he's gonna say beating him is gonna add to his legacy. How? A wrestler beating a striker? What? Like what? Listen. Like listen. It sucks to use myself as an example, but I think I have shown the world why if striking fights wrestling and the striker has no idea what wrestling is, unfortunately, I've experienced it 4 times. Striking cannot be wrestling unless you know something, unless you know a little bit of anti-wrestling, to get the guy off you. But for the most part, striking will always lose to wrestling. Like always. It's not even a contest at this point. As soon as the striker gets on the ground, he's cooked. Ronda Rousey, I don't know if she can beat him. What's his name? Floyd Mayweather. I don't know if she can do it because she is, she's a female. She's not as strong as him. But if she gets him to the ground, Mayweather is probably like, Ronda, I'm not going to say she can, but there's a good argument that she can probably be some of the best boxers in her weight class with wrestling. Like in a street fight, no rules, yeah, she could probably beat him. You want to know why? Because that's wrestling. So if John Jones, somebody who is good in all areas, especially wrestling, beats Alex, like that was obvious. Obviously, he's going to win out. If he knocks out Alex, if he knocks him out in striking, that's gonna do his legacy good. But if he fights Alex, John Jones might try to test himself to see if he can strike with him. He's probably gonna lose, and he's just gonna take him to the ground, and that's it. I saw a way he can beat Alex Pereira when he took down Stipe. He just elbowed his face in. He's gonna do that to Alex Pereira. Like the second they get to the ground, John Jones beating Alex is not impressive. Him beating Tom is impressive. That's gonna add to his legacy. Tom is good at everything. He's younger. I don't know if he's faster or stronger, but he has the age advantage. He actually knows how to wrestle. He knows how to fight. There's more to his utility belt than just striking. So beating him is going to be way more impressive. And he's younger too. If John Jones beats Tom Aspinall, just retire. You've proven you're the GOAT. If you beating Aspinall, right? And Aspinall's like the best heavyweight right now, isn't he? Like the contender.
Yeah, I think he lost. The only time Tom Aspinall has lost in the heavyweight UFC champion in his career, Michael, you correct me if I'm wrong, is when he injured his leg when he fought Curtis Blades. It was a knee injury, but he came back and beat Curtis Blade in the first round for the interim belt, I believe.
So like Amadi Mousen, you're an MMA expert, so you know more than me. But in your opinion, name somebody besides John Jones who you think could beat Tom and heavyweight in his weight class. Because I can't think of anybody.
No, but I can't think of anybody. No, I think you're. I'm not gonna line. Mr. Death, you are absolutely spot on. Like I was actually impressed with your answer when you're talking about John Jones fighting Tom Aspinall and over fighting Alex VIIA because Alex has somebody to fight Ankalaev. And, you know, if he was to beat Tom Aspinall, that adds to significant because right now, Tom Aspinall is one of the best heavyweights. You know, I think Tom Aspinall will go off and beat, you know, DC's record at championship and even Stipe's record as champion, right? As of right now, we can't, you know, I can't foresee the future, right? But as of what it's looking like it's looking pretty good for him.
Exactly. So I think Tom is like the best heavyweight, aside from John Jones, ever right now. There's really nobody else there's really nobody else in the heavyweight division that John can fight that will be impressive. Jamal Hill, I'm actually a fan of Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill, if you see this, bro, I love you. But John Jones is gonna destroy you. I'm sorry. John Jones is gonna Jamal Hill. I want to see Jamal Hill fight. I think Jamal Hill has a chance if he fights out. I mean, well, I don't know if he's gonna beat him, but I think that'd be a good trilogy fight. I want to see a trilogy with Jamal Hill and Alex. I really like what they got going on. I really like Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill, I'm sorry, bro. I'm a fan, but you're not beating John Jones. Alex isn't beating John Jones either. Who else is even left at this point? I don't know all the heavyweights off the top of my head, but literally the only heavyweight right now that John Jones can fight, and people want to see him fight Tom because Tom is the best. Like at heavyweight, right? I can't name a single heavyweight that I think could beat him. Like nobody. All the heavyweights are damn near strikers at this point. Tom is the only person I know that actually he has wrestling too. Like Jamal Hill, Khalil, Alex, they're all primarily strikers. Tom is running out of everything. So Tom can probably, a lot of people think Tom can beat Alex Ferrer too. So Tom, to me, is looking like he's the best heavyweight ever right now. So, and John Jones says he only wants to fight the best. And Tom is literally the best. I can't name one person that will beat him. So John Jones needs to fight Tom. And if he beats somebody who everybody thinks is as good as him, and he's younger than him too, like, damn, he's the GOAT. That's it. That will tremendously add to his legacy. People are never going to stop talking about that. After that, John Jones can retire and do whatever he wants to do after that. Yeah, that's my take on it.
I love it. I never asked you, what weight class do you fight at?
Right now, I'm trying to be as heavy as possible. I'm kind of sick of being skinny and marginally buff. I'm trying to be at least 150. I want to be 150.
What do you walk
right now? 131. I'll be honest with you. On my fight day, I usually weigh a little bit more because I'll be eating a lot. But I've weighed almost 140, but I'm pretty much like 133. On fight day, probably 136. So in the 130 ranges, unfortunately. But I'm going to be bigger one day.
You're still a kid.
Hopefully 150.
You're still a kid. I remember when I was 19, 20, 21, I was walking around like 120 pounds. And now that I'm 38, you know, I got like, you know, what, 15, 18 years on you. You're 21. Yeah. So I got about 17 years on you, putting all the time in the gym, lifting weights. I kind of filled out to like 147, 148. So you just got to spend more time in the gym lifting weights and, you know, try to structure your training a little bit better, right? Where like you go to the gym, you work on your wrestling. The next day you're going to go to the gym, you're going to do, you know, chest and tries. The next day you're going to do back and bis, core. And then Thursday, you know, you study, you know, Batman, you study whoever you want to study. Batman. And then Friday, you're like, you know, I'm going to go just relax and maybe do a little bit light sparring. Do you do any sparring whatsoever in the gym? Any sparring?
I have 2 sparring videos that I uploaded recently because sometimes I'll go to the gym, get some sparring done. But actually, I have sparred in wrestling class. I have sparred before, actually. So I've sparred 3 times in my entire life. And 2 was boxing and the other was wrestling. So I have sparred, but on a regular basis, I'm going to start doing it a lot more. You know, now that I'm, you know, finally going to a gym with wrestling people and stuff, primarily wrestling sparring, but I don't spar much. I don't spar as much as I used to, but now I spar a lot now.
Okay. And here's one thing I just realized. Each time I break down your videos, you only punch. Where are your kicks? I know Batman does a lot of kicking in Batman Arkham Asylum. I know Goku, Vegeta, they do a lot of kicking, especially Vegito. Vegito is very known for his kicks. You know, but we don't see you kicking at all. What's up with that?
I threw a knee in my second fight, and I did throw it was long range, but I did throw a kick at Static. So that was the second time I kicked. And I did kick at White Wolf. Well, I didn't land it, but I tried to kick him a little bit, but I think he moved to the side. But the kicks I'll be doing are like, again, I mainly study Batman Arkham City to Arkham Knight. So when Batman kicks, it's usually far away. It's usually the close distance. And combat, he's usually punching or kneeing. He doesn't really throw kicks that often. So
okay, I
really only kick it from long range to get the momentum up, charge at him. I want to do Liu Kang kicks, basically.
Oh,
that's the only kick I really know how to do.
Okay,
to be honest.
Well, I can't wait to see you perfect the bicycle kick. I cannot wait to see that one.
I'm gonna do that. Trust me.
Okay, well, shit. Well, Michael, producer, you got anything for Mr. Death before we let him go?
Yeah, Death Sentence. It is truthfully an honor to meet you right now. Just I want to first of all, I want to just give you an ovation because you've given us some of my favorite content on DJ's YouTube. Like every time I edit any of your fights, I have a smile on my face the whole time. So I say on behalf of all of our subscribers and our community, thank you for the fights that you put on. And I guess my question is, why do you have such a hardcore following? Why is our YouTube community, if you look at our comments, Death Sentence, you are such a fan favorite. Why is that?
To be telling you the truth, I have no idea. Like, I have no idea. When I first started this, I thought nobody was gonna pay attention to me. Like, I didn't think nobody would even look at me. I thought maybe I would get. I didn't think I would get 1 million views ever. And then after my second fight, one day I got 1 million views. One day I got 10,000 followers, and that went up to 100,000 followers. And I'm really grateful for the support and for the fans I surprisingly had. But I know it sounds cliche, but I didn't know I was gonna get this far. I mean, in terms of like being famous and stuff, I don't even want to call myself. I'm like mildly popular. I don't want to call myself a celebrity, but it's kind of crazy how in 1 year, I have 4 fights so far. I've been doing this for like a year. And I've gotten a lot of attention, interviewed by the GOAT himself, Mighty Mouse. And I need to say something real quick. Mighty Mouse, I am extremely honored that you even know my name. I'm even on this podcast. It is a blessing that I'm glad I got the opportunity to get. You are the GOAT. My fan. I wish my brother was here. He's at his friend's house right now. He would love to meet you. Like, he would love to. Can you just say hey to Zar real quick? Just say hey to him.
What's his name? Dazar?
We'll say Zar.
Zar.
That's like his nickname.
Hey, what's going on, Zar? This is your boy, Mighty Mouse. I'm here, interviewing your brother, Mr. Death. Appreciate you guys being a fan of the channel and of my career. Truly appreciate that.
Yes. Yeah, bro. All my entire family, we love you, bro. We watch all your fights, and I am extremely honored to be on here. So I just want to say, I can't thank you enough. Honestly, this is awesome. And I'm glad that that you guys find entertainment through my fights too, and plenty more to come. Get ready.
Ooh, I can't wait. I got
a lot of things.
Now, Mr. Death, this is your opportunity to let people know how they can follow you, how they can support you. And I think you have a big enough following that you need to get a T-shirt made. Like if you get a T-shirt made that says Death Sentence, I would cop one. I would definitely cop one.
Yeah, speaking of that, I might as well say we're working on merch. My mom is working on merch right now, like right now as we speak. Now, I will tell you guys this. At some point, my headband, I'm gonna have to change the symbol to make sure double sure won't get. So at some point, this is gonna be a skull. I've decided, all right, it's time. I'm becoming my own man now. We're actually becoming mildly famous. So the Lee Village symbol, I'm gonna stop. It's time for me to go and make my own village now. My own village. I'm gonna call it the Village of Death. It's gonna be called the Village of Death, and it's the Village of Death, hidden in grief. It's gonna be called that, and the symbol is gonna be a skull from now on. At some point. So we're working on custom made handbands as we speak, and maybe we might try to make my costume like a costume that people can wear for Halloween or something, like a T-shirt. So we're working on merch. Hopefully it's coming out later this year. My mom's getting everything ready, but there will 100% be Death Sentence merch. When? I don't know. Hopefully this year, but we're working on it now. And I'm gonna change this symbol too at some point.
Okay, and then where can people follow you? How can they support you?
All right, so Instagram, Death Sentence 03, TikTok, Death Sentence 06. I have a Snapchat. It's Death Sentence 06 again, I believe. I'll double check. I'm pretty sure it's Death Sentence 06 on Snapchat. And on Facebook, Miraji Johnson. That's about it. I didn't change the name yet. Just type in Miraji Johnson. You'll see me. You can follow me on all 4. And I have an email, well, I guess a business email. So if people want me to do like special requests, I got you.
Boom. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is our guest, the special edition, Halloween edition for Merry Christmas to you guys. Yeah. Mr. Death, I am your host, Demetrious Johnson. That is my co-host, my right-hand man, Michael Wansover, and we will see you guys at the next episode of the MightyCast. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the MightyCast. And this is actually the Mighty Recap, and this is the part of the episode where we recap everything we just went through with our guest. And our guest was Mr. Death. Death Sentence himself. Now, I know you guys are going to probably think, man, why did he interview Mr. Death Sentence? The reason why is because this has been a highly asked for guests to join the MightyCast. We have broken down so many of his videos, and I've always been intrigued about, after the show was done, he said, Mr. Mighty Mouse, what would you say is my greatest strength and my greatest weakness? And I was honest with him. I'll say his greatest strength is that he's not scared to try things and he believes in himself, right? And I said his biggest weakness is his ego. And the reason why I said ego is because he believes that his striking is at a high class level where it's not. I think, if you guys have seen him fight, it's not at the high class level where he can fix that. That's the cool thing about martial arts is that you can always get better by going to a gym, putting the time in, asking questions, and just training, right? Like, I've never met anybody who's trained for 6 months that hasn't been better than where they were 6 months ago, right? If this is day one, you train 6 months in a gym, you're going to be somewhere further than you were when you first started. And I think that's what he's missing. But to hear his inspiration from, the Batman video games, if you guys haven't played them, go play them. They're great games. He's still trying to pull off the Liu Kang bicycle kick and, being inspired by Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, all of the greatest animes of our time. It makes sense why he has, and he's still searching for that anime stand-up battle. But this was an interview that a lot of people has asked for, and that's why we want to deliver to you guys right before the holiday season of Christmas.
No, this was our Christmas holiday gift, whatever you celebrate, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Ramadan, whatever it may be. This was a gift all wrapped in one for all of you because we have got this requested a lot, and I'm gonna tell you, it lived up to the hype. I mean, I understand you're right that his weakness might be his ego, but to me, it's the biggest strength, and it's why we all love him so much. I mean, he is so fucking confident. It is tough. I mean, I had a fight, if you want to call it that, in Thailand. Like, it's fucking scary to step in there without a lot of training and go against another dude. And he does it with so much character, so much bravery and confidence. And you could tell, I mean, he's fucking influenced from these anime and Batman and shit. And it's why we just love his fights. I'm more excited I'm going to be totally honest. I am more excited when a death sentence fight drops than most UFC fighters right now. I'll admit that. Move over John Jones, Alex Pereira, Ilya Taporia. I want to see death sentence fights, so I can't wait to see that guy step. Whether it's if it's street beefs, or if it's I know he has a boxing fight coming up as well. That dude has just so much character, and I hope he doesn't get discouraged and he just keeps fucking trying to whoop ass. That's what I want.
Yeah, not discouraged, but also I hope he doesn't get hurt, right? I hope the matchmaker, and that's one thing I really respect about Scarface. Scarface knows his level of what he can do and what he's capable of right now, and I think Scarface does a good job of matching him up with people who aren't going to severely hurt him, right? Because at the end of the day, this is combat, right? And people can get severely hurt. A gentleman in our local area went to a amateur fight, and he got his jaw broke, and it was his first amateur fight. So this stuff that Mr. Death is doing could really hurt him, down his next fight or down the road with concussion, CT, and all that stuff. But I think the biggest thing that I really loved about this episode of the podcast was just vibing out with somebody who's also a nerd in Batman, Dragon Ball Z, anime, and Mortal Kombat, and how he said there's no possible way I could lose. I've played Batman, Arkham City, Arkham Knight through and through, and I've gone through every simulation. There's no way in hell I can lose. And then when he says, you know what? After I had my fights, I realized these motherfuckers never go to the ground. And I was like, damn, this motherfucker was all in. He was truly all in on the simulation of what could happen.
But that's what I'm saying. The confidence is truly impressive. Like I'm telling you, anyone out there who is listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, whoever leaves the comments, right? Go do a street beef and tell me where your fear level is going to be at. You're probably not going to be going into that fight with the confidence that Death Sentence has. I don't think you would. I mean, he goes in there with 100% belief in himself, and I think he just has fun, right? I mean, he's got the headband. He spray paints his hair silver. I think he's just so confident, has fun. So I think hopefully he does the right things, and he goes and learns some striking. He learns some, and I love the way he talked about wrestling and MMA, how aware he was of, hey, look at all these guys, all the top fighters are wrestlers. So he knows what he's doing. He's very young, only 21 years old. So shit, I want him to keep going. And in the meantime, I promise you guys, we will never stop breaking down Death Sentence fights. It is every time it drops, we will be there. And for us, it was cool to know how much he loves it and respects it. For me, it was cool just knowing like he sees the love and he appreciates it.
Yep. And he was dropping knowledge about Tom Aspinall versus John Jones and Alex Pereira. He was like, what? You beat Alex Pereira? How does that help your legacy? You kidding me? What? He goes, now if you beat Tom Aspinall, he's younger, he's faster, he's stronger. Like, that's going to add to your legacy. I mean, come on now. And then, like you said, he said that everybody who striking loses to wrestling all the time. And I agree with him. I've always said this in all my breakdowns of Street Beef. And I think jiu-jitsu is king. I truly believe it is, because my kids have been grappling for 2 years straight since they've been 8 years old. Well, yeah, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. 8, 9. Yeah. Maverick's 8 at the time. Tyron was 9 years old. You do 8 years of grappling and you put a grappler against a boxer who's boxed for 8 years in a street fight, the grappler is going to eat his ass up alive when it goes to the ground. Granted, he's got to get it to the ground, but there's ways in a fight where you can, bring somebody down to the ground super fast, and the grappler is going to have his way with them in a street fight. Now, in a boxing match versus a grappler, the grappler is going to lose because it's on the feet. But when we're talking about mixed martial arts or street beef or whatever it may be, street fights, the grappler is always going to have his way with it. And you hear it all the time. Even Taekwondo, shoyo roll, they used to do this thing. They still do it where it's like people will submit their tapes of their experience of doing grappling. And I'll never forget this tape. It was a black belt. A black belt calls in to shoyo roll and says, I'm a black belt and I just started jiu-jitsu. And, I felt completely confident that my self-defense was going to give me everything I needed to handle myself against a jiu-jitsu guy. I signed up for my first day of jiu-jitsu and I go with the blue belt. And I felt like I got fucking destroyed by an anaconda. There was nothing I could do. My karate background gave me no strength whatsoever once it hit the ground. And I truly believe that I'll say that to the day I die, that I think jiu-jitsu, wrestling is king when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. You look at cops when they get into fights. What does the fight end up? On the ground. You see two bad bitches at the club fighting. Where does it end up? On the ground. You see two guys fighting. over a package of hot dogs. 2 homeless men fight over a package of hot dogs. Where does it end up? It ends up on the ground with crows, caw, caw, waiting for the scraps. So I think Death Sentence realizing how powerful wrestling can be in all of his fights. And he does have some truth. If you watch all his fights, nobody stands up with him. Nobody does. They always take his ass down. So he has something to bank on. He goes, everybody takes me down, so I gotta learn how to do wrestling. I can't wait to see what he does when he fights somebody and it's only stand up.
So now the big question, the elephant in the room, DJ, do you think one day, if the schedules align, you would be able to train Death Sentence? We get, I think it's like every other comment, almost all of our videos. What are your thoughts on one day showing him the ropes a little bit and perfecting the fighter we all love, Death Sentence?
Oh God, man! I think it should take more time than one training session. That's the biggest thing. if Death Sentence if I could train Death Sentence for two months of just going over the basics of stand up and using his length, teaching him, instant transmission and all the things that he's missing in his game, I think he could be a lot better where he is now. Hopefully, one day we'll try to make it out there and be able to train with him. Maybe one day.
Where does he live?
I think he's in East Coast, somewhere in the East Coast.
Okay. No, I promise everyone in the chat, in the comments, in the Mighty community, I'm gonna do my best to make it happen. We hear you. Well, one day we will do it. And if this MightyCast gets, I don't know, put a limit on it. If this MightyCast gets 250,000 views, we'll do it. What? Everyone, let's leave. I don't know if you've made it this far, but maybe we'll pin the top comment or something. Everyone, let's blow up. I think you're all going to come and watch this anyway because we have been requested, maybe the most requested MightyCast guest that we have ever had. So leave a comment, let us know, and let's blow this up because that will let us know that it's more than just some people commenting. All of you truthfully want us to head out wherever we do meet Death Sentence and turn him to an elite fighter. We want this dude to make the UFC one day. We are right there. I love that we're going to follow his journey every step of the way. I have a feeling he'll be on the MightyCast again one day. Those hot takes that he had with John Jones, Aspinall. I'm telling you, he's a natural on the camera, on the mic. The dude has charisma, and it's, in all seriousness, it's what I always tell you, not enough fighters have, right? Is look at what he has done, the brand that he has built just on charisma, talking skills, talking shit, what his appearance, what he can wear. You could only control what you can control as a fighter, right? Some fighters, you beat their ass. It's not always, every fighter wants to just go undefeated and knock out everyone, right? But one thing you can control is just your character, and he is my favorite character in all of combat sports. I'm saying that right now. Death Sentence is the number one character in combat sports that I'm invested in. So he's doing something right.
Well, right now I was listening to you, but I had to go see how many followers he has. This man has 127,000 followers, and he's not even in any organization. What does Patchy Mix have? That's the first Patchy Mix.
Yeah, let's look at the Bellator bantamweight champion.
Patchy Mix has 34,000 followers on Instagram.
That's a pretty good comparison to now that we have a weight class for Death Sentence. I wish you asked how tall he was, but
he's gonna be 5'5", and that's not against Patchy. I love Patchy Mix. I think he's fucking great. Let's look at another person. That way, Patchy Mix doesn't come after my black ass. Let's think of somebody else. Give me a name. Give me a name.
I'm trying to think of a good 135, but Marab definitely has more. Mario Batista would be a perfect one to look up.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one. But yeah,
Mario Batista, who is a highly ranked UFC bantamweight, 16.2 thousand.
16.2. That's why Henry won't fight him.
1.6.
Henry won't fight him because he's only got 16,000 followers on Instagram. I bet you, if Henry had the opportunity to fight Death Sentence, I bet you Henry would take that fight because
he'd be too scared. He'd be too scared though to fight Death Sentence.
But to compass this whole thing into context, like Des has a following. He has fans, true fans that love his fighting style and his charisma and his courage and him displaying what he truly loves inside of the Street Beef cage, wherever he fights. So, boys, if you enjoyed this episode of the MightyCast, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, hit the bell to know when we go live. And please let us know in the comments below who you guys want to see on the MightyCast next. Like we said before, Mr. Death was very, very highly requested to be on the MightyCast. You guys keep, that's one thing I love about this community is that we try to listen and interact with you guys. So keep on telling us who you guys want to see on there. Merry Christmas. This is our Christmas holiday to you guys. We will see you guys at the next episode of the MightyCast. I am your host, Demetrious Johnson. That's my man, Michael Wandover. God bless. Stay kind to one another. And Merry Christmas. We'll see you at the next one.